Hey, hey, what's up? How's it going, everyone? What is up? Hey, Michael, Circle of Light. Good to see all of you here. Hope you're all staying safe, doing well, dealing with staying indoors, staying inside, hopefully making the best out of the isolation. Hey, Jack, what's up? If you caught the teaser not too long ago that I posted to our story, we are going to be chatting with one of our creators on Universe. And since we launched the new payments feature on Universe last week, hold on, sorry, can we? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so we launched payments to Universe last week, and what that basically allows you to do is you can simply add a block to your site, and literally in seconds, anyone can start accepting credit card payments and Apple Pay payments directly through their site, which is super cool because considering that it takes so much time to figure out how to get a website up and running, getting your domain set up, we actually rush the release of this to get it into more people's hands as soon as possible. And also, we made it free for everyone to use. So if you're new to Universe, I'm going to just plug it right now. Universe is free to download. You can get a website set up on your phone in seconds. And not only that, we're waiving the fees, the first $1,000 that you make through your site. We're waiving the transaction fees on it. So all the money that you make through your site will go directly into your bank account. Yeah. So, oops, sorry. So today we're going to be talking with one of the creators. Her name is Raven Doc. I'm going to let her introduce herself. But she is an artist she has like an online gallery, and since launching the payment block, she's already made sales directly through her site and has found buyers of her artworks internationally, I think. But I'll let her dig into that. But yeah, hey Raven, how's it going?
Hi, I'm doing good. Should I switch the orientation of the camera?
You might want to.
Okay, let me see if I can turn it without turn it right because I got you guys on the tripod.
Oh, you've got your artwork behind you. That's so cool.
Yeah, we
Wow,
all know we're
that's
here in work
incredible.
progress.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. I feel like I've spoken to you for so long, and I finally get to put a face to the name. So yeah, how about I'll let you introduce yourself. So, maybe talk a little bit about who you are, what you do with Universe, and then we can talk a little bit about how you made it all come together.
Okay, I'm Raven. If no one knew that, I'm an Orlando-based artist. I've been creating specifically embroidered portraits since 2018. I actually have that first piece right here. Um, I've been stitching since 2015, but I actually made the dive into doing strictly portraits in 2018. Um, I don't know what else to say. My work is really based off of emotion and human interaction and memories and things like that. And I recently got my first website through Universe, which was amazing. And I've officially started selling on my own outside of galleries and displaying my art and talking more in depth for the first time about my art
Wow.
through Universe. So this is like a brand new thing for
Yeah,
me.
so you haven't been doing this a very long time.
Mm-mm,
How did
not
you?
at all.
I guess like how did you, or what led you to realize you wanted like, I guess were you always uh, like making artworks? Like how did you kind of get into like portraiture through stitching? I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that.
Um, well, the first thing that got me into it was I've talked about this a few times, was just like an incident I had with school where I had to leave like right a few weeks before graduation. And I never was someone who was into art. I always like books and movies and music. I was never creatively inclined. And it was just, I saw this one random video about like stitching on clothes because that's how I was first introduced into embroidery, was through clothes. And I was stitching jackets and hats and patches and stuff like that. And I really, really wanted to take that dive into hyper realistic portraiture, and I didn't know how, and I
Yeah.
didn't think it was possible. It was only like one or two artists who I really knew who was doing it at the time, but they weren't using the stitches that I was using or using the techniques that I was using, which was great. It was level individuality with that, but yeah, I just really took the dive into doing portraiture, just dive straight into it. I was
Wow.
I
That's
was currently,
incredible.
yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. Um, like this was the first piece that I did. I just
Is
jumped
that
head
like a
first.
friend, or did you just like pull a photo
This
online?
I pulled a photo and I did this type of edit where I just like removed his eyes, not to almost manipulate the photo to be able to use it, but it was just something about it. I just felt like it just needed
Yeah,
that.
it's wicked. I absolutely love that.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's how I really got into it. I really, really wanted to take the skills that I was using on clothes
Hmm.
and just integrate that into fine art, I guess you can say it. I
Yeah,
didn't
absolutely. I would definitely call it fine art. Yes.
really wanted to integrate that. And I was really excited. I felt like my big move into portraiture, like I was already doing portraits, but I felt like this piece in particular was the big move into it.
Yeah.
Um, since it's the biggest piece I've ever done, I felt like I really officially made that move
Yeah.
into doing more serious fine art. But
How long does it take you to make a single, because these are all hand stitched, right? Or are you using a
mm-hmm,
machine?
they're all hand stitched. I'm gonna have
Wow.
like thread over here. This piece took 77 hours. I think this one was around the same time
Wow.
time frame, which is crazy because it's such a big difference in
Yeah.
like the size. Took around the same amount of time. And this one is about 50 or so hours, I believe.
Yeah.
So it really all depends on the size, but yeah, everything is stitched by hand. And definitely
Wow.
these two pieces, I have to stand up and do them.
Yeah.
So it's
How
a
do you
lot.
prop that up? Do you just like,
Like for
not
this
an
piece,
easel? Yeah. Like what are you?
yeah,
Oh, okay. You pin it to the wall. Got it.
yeah. And I hold the bottom. I'm going to create a mechanism for me to be able to stitch bigger pieces because my feet aren't happy with the arrangement that I have going on right now.
That's awesome. So then, you've been doing it for a few years. I guess like, at what point and how did you decide that you wanted to like make a website, like start selling your artworks online? How did you make that transition for yourself? Seeing that it sounds like you did all of this like kind of on your own.
I really wanted a website from the very beginning, which I won't say the names of the places that I've experienced. I think I really wanted that balance of e-commerce and blogging to be able to talk about what I want you to collect or introducing a piece to you. I didn't have that option to talk about the art and sell it at the same time. So when I discovered Universe and I was able to physically make contact with my website to be able to pick up and drag a blog post and to add more layers and add more pages was just so amazing. And I finally felt like, okay, I can have a
Like you're
website
in control.
now. Yeah, complete control to be able to physically drag your finger across the screen and to move things to physically, not physically touch it, but touch it in a way that you feel like you had that control, like what I do with my art. That was like the moment I really was able to talk about my art and sell my art.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, I guess there are some like parallels there where like as an artist, you definitely want, things to feel and look a certain way. And I think, yeah, the actual grid editor kind of lets you do that with like an open canvas. Um, so I'm curious how did you kind of think about what you wanted your site to do? I think there are a lot of artists out there now, especially uh, probably in a similar space where you were not too long ago, where they have ideas, they're really inspired by a particular craft or activity and want to think about you know the steps they can take to kind of broadcast or share it online. How did you approach it? Like, how did you decide you wanted a website? What did you look for? um, and maybe speak a little bit to like how you think about like continuing to use it. Like, I think a lot of times people will just set up a website and then let it be, but it seems as though you're actively changing it, adding things to it, and promoting it all over the place.
The way I look at my website is also not only e-commerce or blog posts, but I also use it socially. I will create a post on Instagram and we will start off the conversation there, and it would somehow lead to my to my website to get the rest of the post. So I felt like that was the best way for me to use it. I didn't pressure myself to creating content because if like again if I'm doing a work in progress and I don't have necessarily anything to post, I can then go to my website, to my blog post, and start conversations. If I'm not talking about my own art, I'm talking about other people's art, like my 12 artists you should support locally, and my 20, or was it 15? I can't remember. The artists I really like.
Hmm.
That's how I felt like that was my best way of using my website. If it wasn't about me, at least make it about other people I really adore
That's really
and
cool. Yeah,
want it
that's super
to.
cool.
Yeah, that's my best way of using my I keep saying Instagram, to using my website.
That's all good. How do you, I guess, so you recently started using the payment block on
Mhm.
your site. Maybe can you talk a little bit about like how that's kind of opened up opportunity for you?
That's really opened the opportunity for me because basically um, my way of selling my art was strictly through galleries and through exhibitions. And while that was amazing and I loved every show I did, I felt like this new button was a new opening for me to be able to sell directly to the collector, for them to have a very intimate and personal interaction with the art. Like I recently uploaded videos of me handling the art and twisting the art and talking about the hardware and
Oh,
everything.
cool. I didn't see that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's on the
I'll pull up your site while you're still talking about how you started selling.
yeah, it's on the set the studio sale page. And I feel like the new button offered a way more intimate experience with me and my collectors. It's easy to talk about something but to be able to include videos and pictures and text and offering like a very one-on-one with that person, I felt like really expanded the way not only I create my art, but the way I sell my art.
Yeah, definitely. So just so everyone can see, this is Raven's site, Raven Doc, and that's the print right behind you, right? The one that's on the
Mm-hmm.
homepage.
Yeah,
Super cool.
that piece.
And so you can see she has her gallery set up. These are so awesome. I need to get my hands on
Thank
one
you.
pretty soon. And then you said you put it on your studio sale.
Mm-hmm. It's in the
Cool.
studio.
So you can hop right into it. And she's got a sale going on. So if anyone's interested in buying a piece, I mean, I'm interested. I'm guessing you definitely want them to hit you up.
Yeah, I have a few pieces floating around that are still waiting to find their
Yeah,
homes.
those are super cool.
Thank you.
And these are the originals.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what she means by having the actual video. And you can do this all from your phone.
Mm-hmm. It was a very seamless and easy process.
Wow.
And there's so much that you can add into the website that I never thought about it. And it's just so many buttons and options. And I was just like, why don't I create a video of me physically touching the art and flipping the art around and talking about it? Even though it's a quick, comprehensive video, I felt
Yeah.
like it was very important to just show me holding it, because sometimes scale isn't really interpreted well through pictures. So I thought a video.
Yeah, that's really cool. I never really thought about that. You kind of just, a lot of people just upload the actual piece and you never really understand like the actual like physical interaction. Like this could be, I could think that this is a full blown poster on a wall had you
Yeah.
not shown it down here.
Even with measurements, you really can't put that into perspective because, again, people use different um, measurements and stuff like that. So, again, even if if someone told me something was 38 millimeters, I really wouldn't be able to put that into perspective until I was physically, seeing it in their hand and seeing them operate it.
Yeah. So the payment block itself that Raven's talking about is the latest feature that we released last week. And so basically what it allows you to do is add a block to your site that lets customers or anyone visiting your site give you a tip, make a purchase, make a reservation. It's really as simple as customizing. And just like that, people will be able to pay you both through Apple Pay or through their credit card directly to your site. And then after they pay you, I'm going to show you my site dashboard. I haven't made as many sales as you because I don't really have as many things to offer. But once you make a sale through, or once you receive a payment through your site, you will be able to see the money coming directly into your site dashboard. And then you can enable automatic payouts and then manage the payments directly from your site dashboard as well. Super cool.
Very cool.
So I guess how do you now that you've got your store set up, you're making sales. How do you think about kind of growing your audience, your presence, your exposure? What's your strategy? How are you thinking about kind of getting bigger now that you've kind of taken that first step?
My strategy is always put the person first. I felt like the best way I've connected with every single collector was just liking their posts, talking to them. A lot of people that bought art and prints from me, we talk on a nearly daily basis. So
Wow.
I feel like I while algorithms change consistently, the person doesn't change. The person will never change. People love that human connection. And one thing that I do is I go through tags of people who love fiber art and they're looking for art. I just go to the recent posts and I just connect with those people and I follow them. And a lot of people, which I don't know if anyone knows this, but a lot of collectors are artists themselves. And just showing love to their posts and, you know, buying a piece or buying a print from them, they are motivated to buy something. And it's not to say that I only show support when I want someone to buy something from me. It's just I love, if I don't have anything to share with you, I want to share things from others. And I feel like that's my best way of promoting and marketing myself, is just that human connection. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it
awesome.
could be
That's so
all
cool.
day. Yeah,
That's a very, I mean, I think that's a very like, I think that's just a really nice way to approach the web altogether. It doesn't seem like you're trying to hack it in any way.
yeah,
It feels like there's a lot more authenticity there.
yeah, because it changes so much. And if someone really wants to, you know, buy something from you or buy a piece from you, they're buying you. And I feel like the best way to introduce you to my art or to introduce me is to share me and to talk to you about things like cooking. Because a lot of people that buy art from me know that I love to cook and bake. And that's all we really talk about. And that's how we connect. Like, oh, we're going to talk about food. And then they buy a print.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Um, so many things. I recently just baked cookies, which I wasn't supposed
Chocolate
to be
chip?
doing. Okay, it was white chocolate chip, milk chocolate chip, Irish cream chocolate. It was a lot. I just threw any
Oh
chocolate
man,
chip I
maybe
had
you
in
should
there.
start selling cookies through your site too. I'd definitely buy a box.
I definitely considered it, but
You
yeah, I
should.
love
I think that'd
baking.
be really awesome.
Yeah, I think that would just to brighten people's day and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
definitely. I'm curious to
Definitely.
know what's your favorite art piece
Out
that
of
you've
my
made of yours? Yeah.
um, that's hard to say. I'm looking around my room because I have other pieces behind me. I mean, in front of me, and then like in the chair. I feel like it's a tie between, which I really really love this piece, um, Lost and Found, and We All Kneel. And the crazy thing is that these are the same people. I don't think I've
Oh,
ever told
crazy.
anyone.
I never
These
even
are
made that connection.
Yeah, they're the same exact people. Like I love, and it's crazy because we took these pictures outside my window, and it's just so crazy, just the level of composition that I was able to manipulate it. But that richness of his skin tone and his
Yeah,
the,
definitely. Who
yeah,
is that?
a friend that went to school with me named Nick.
Cool. Nick's
Yeah,
getting a shout out today.
yeah, I love working with Nick. I feel like I've created my most powerful pieces with him, and the crazy thing is he's hilarious. And it's just to have someone so funny and then to help you create the most emotional pieces that I
It
think have
feels like a
ever
very
come.
powerful piece. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is very, very strong. I feel like
Um,
Lost and Found
the
is
other thing
very, very
I
strong.
totally forgot to ask you this when we were talking about the payment block, but was adding the payments feature to Universe for you? Was it the first time you've made a sale online?
No, I was selling my prints initially through Etsy, and it was very, very hard to get traffic from there, from my Instagram to Etsy. I
Interesting.
felt like there was a roadblock with Etsy, but with the payment block, it was my first sales, but it was my most seamless sales ever. I didn't have like any discrepancies or any issues with that because filling out a listing through Etsy is so tedious. You have to do your tags, you have to do your line, you have to, have all this information plugged in. But with Universe, I was able to upload my pictures, put my information block at the bottom and then put the painted block. So while it wasn't my first sale, it was my most easiest sale for sure.
That's what counts.
Yeah.
That's
It really
awesome.
counts.
Cool. Well, I don't want to hold you up too long, but I'm actually really curious to know, like, what else would you love to see from Universe? This is your chance to put us on blast.
Definitely. I would love to see a comment section. Because like I mentioned before with my Instagram, I start off a post and I don't quite finish it because I want to drive everyone to the blog. And I would love to have a comment section for people to continue that conversation on both ends, because I always have to start the post on Instagram, have you go to the website and come back to Instagram to tell me what you thought or anything like that. So I would love
Oh
to
yeah,
see
definitely.
in a cart. I would love to see a cart where you
Shopping
can buy
cart.
multiple things. Yeah.
We'll
And
get there eventually. Those things are
yeah,
hard to build, but we'll get there.
yeah, they are. And a shipping calculator. Oh my God, that would be godsend. Because while I sold an international piece, it was very interesting to have to go through my different shipping service that I use with that person. Like it wasn't, she was a lovely collector, but we had a few shipping hiccups for sure outside of
Yeah.
Universe. So yeah, I would love to see those three things.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, definitely. I mean, I'm sure some of the team is sitting in here listening, so hopefully they're taking notes. Yeah. Did anyone in here have any questions? Looks like there are a few people still lingering around. Let's see. I'm just gonna scan through them real quick. Where are you located? You're in Florida, right?
And it's so dark. I have to put on my studio lights. It's been raining like since yesterday.
Oh
So
wow.
dark.
Is it like storm season there right now? Math
Yes and no.
Farm Art says he loves your work so much. Maybe you guys can connect afterwards.
Yeah. I
Camille
think he
says, very cool.
has a few
Lots of
people from
love
my end.
coming for your artwork. If anyone's actually interested in purchasing the artwork, you can go to ravendocart.com, or you can swipe up on any of the stories that we uploaded, and I'll share a link to our story again after this.
Trying to get this out.
Yeah, and I will upload this interview to YouTube too. For the
Oh,
first
that's
time in
great.
3 weeks, Instagram Live did not crash on us, so that's kind of nice. Well, great, Raven. I'll let you go. Thanks so much for tuning in with us and joining us for a little chat. And I'm sure we'll
Nice
see you
hanging out with
around.
you. All right. It's been nice hanging out with you.
Cool. Take it easy, everyone.
Goodbye.